Right, so post hole positions, centre line, 25-inch scale line, well, 25-inch line where the posts go. So what I'm going to do is off camera, I'm going to check this a few times, and then before we go to the next stage, just to be absolutely sure. Hey all, welcome back. Today I want to see about getting this Floyd fitted. I've been marking up, so I found my re-established my centre line here, and it is so close to the joint. It's just off back here, but at this end it's spot on. Basically all I've done, straight edge down both sides of the neck, and then used my centre finding ruler to re-establish a centre line. Now I've got my scale line and I've got the 25-inch line, because the Floyd posts, they sit ½ inch forward of whatever scale you're using. That's what I've learned. I learned that from mistakes, as a lot of you'll know. Now I've got this standard template set for a standard Floyd, but this fits through this okay, and I find that it lines up perfectly with the right hand post, and that gives me a nice fitting on the back and everything. Now I've got a line, I don't know if you can see this on the camera, but there's a line where the posts sit, and there's a line here in the middle, the sort of middle-ish of the template. Now that's 21 mils back. So I probably want the depth of this to about 26 mil. You know what I mean? Right. Anyway, so yeah, I wanted out of this bit. I'm not sure what to do about this bit here, because I don't want that chunk taken out later. So now I've got to line this up with a centre line, and I can do most of this really. It's just, like I say, it's just this one little cut. It's not a big deal, but I'd rather not have it if I can avoid it. one last route to do. That's to line this up with this and this back edge here and this side here. Right, we've got to get this thing, get some strings on this thing and see how we're doing, eh? See, that is sitting there, I think. That looks pretty central. Draw my little circles. Now, need to try and punch them in the, less in the centre. Okay. That's off centre. It's not bad. That's pretty good as well. Right. Well, that worked surprisingly well, happy to say. I think because I've got my holes punched and I just kept it in line with, just kept it into the hole. It was alright. If you take it out, it'll just flap around like hell. And then of course I've got this big long screwdriver. It should help things as well. Okay, now hole you pump up. I'm going to go in there. I seem to want to. So that's the low string. That's pretty good. I would say it's probably slightly over to this side, but only by a fraction. I mean, that's pretty bloody good. So I was messing with the laser last night and I've cut this paper template out. So I can use that to test and see how that looks for fitment wise, and that looks okay. So now I've got a piece of the ash set up on the laser and the software already rock and roll. So I'll just put this on to cut this out, I think. Let's have a look. There we are, kind of. There it goes. There we have one beautiful template. Next, I unclamped the strings and slipped this template in. Now what I'm noticing is that the centre line in the front is pretty good, but at the back it's not so good. I need it to about 1 millimetre over from my, about 1 millimetre over this way for that to work for some reason. So yesterday, this is the next day by the way. It's funny because you guys are watching this, it's just like a video and it's just a minute later, but to me this is the next day. Anyway, last night I wasn't super happy with everything. It was good, but I knew it could be better, basically, so I was like, okay. So the first thing was the nut. It wasn't 100% centered. So I took the nut off and then basically see, like, say take that hole for instance there, right? Now, I want the nut to move this way. All I do is I get little slithers of wood and I glue them on this side of the hole, for both mounting holes. And then what that's done is just pushed that nut over like a 1/4 millimetre or so. And that was enough. It's absolutely perfect now. The nut is super centred. It's so good. It's absolutely banging. So I've got a little tiny lip on this side and a little tiny lip on this side, just as it should be. So that was one thing. And the other thing was, when I was trying to line the template up and things went line up with the centre line, I was like, I just wasn't sure. So I got a piece of mahogany, made a plug, and then I got the tight bond, glued it in. I left it overnight, and then today I've cut it flush, filled it flat, remarked, and then spent quite a while on the drill press with the clamp, getting the drill bit just right. Drilled my hole, and now it is just, it's beautiful now. I'm so happy with it. I'm really chuffed. I'll show you. You see this bolt here in the centre line just in there? Look at that, absolutely perfect. And it's pretty much the same at the front, if I can see it. You can just see the line in there poking out, which is also nicely centred. And if I follow this, if you look down this low string, follow the way down, look at the gap between the string and the edge of the fretboard. Absolutely perfect, all the way up and down the neck. So for me personally, that was quite a small effort to do what I did, and I am super pleased that I did it, because it's just, everything's so much better. And because I have this sort of ridiculous perfectionist side to me, my brain's happier, so everything's good. Now the next thing is, this template needs to be thicker for a start, because the outer bit, the depth of the outer bit is that, and I want the front of it to be no more than 5 or 6 mil deep, you know, where the posts go. So I'm gonna try this wet wall. I'm gonna make a template of this first of all and see how smooth it is. If that's not very good, then what I'll do is I'll get another piece of ash, thin ash, and glue the two together to make a nice thicker template and use that. So, but I'll go and do all that crap off camera, figure some things out, and then we'll come back, we'll get straight into routing this recess, getting that done and dusted. Right, so I've got it back under tension, giving the good Floyd a good wiggle, make sure it's settled. And I'm going around, I've been checking with my little 2 mil drill bit. The only bit as tight as at the back, which is fine. I can see the lines really close to the posts there. Let's get my spectacles on and double check. Yep. Yeah, that's all looking really good. So, time to remove the Floyd. Get all this Floyd at the road, and we'll get this recess done. Now I need to make something to put in the front here. And I'm making that 16 millimeters wide. So I'll have to make sure one of these sides is flat. I'll go in there on the sander just now, so I'll go and check one of these sides got flat. So how did I do? Well, I don't think I could do any better than that. That's so good. So good. I'll probably take a bit more wood out the back here. If you look at that low string, the distance between that and the string and the fretboard edge, look at that alignment, man. That's so good. It's the same on the other string, but it's really hard to see the high E, isn't it? Well, I can't see on my phone screen anyway. But no, this is just, it's brilliant. So yeah, I want to deepen this cavity at the back a little bit. I'll probably knock another couple of millimetres. And also sharpen these corners. Or maybe just the one, I don't know. Just sharpen up a little bit, just to give it a little bit more space. But other than that, it's just perfect. So yeah, I mean, you know, this is why I tweaked things last night, you know, the nut, and moved the post over just that tiny bit. It just makes such a difference to me. The aesthetics are so much better. It's just superb. But anyway, yeah, so I'm going to deepen that pocket, like I said, at the back, and the rear end of the Floyd there. And I'll sharpen these corners up as well, but I'll film that and I'll just add it on the next video. I'll leave this one here for now. Leave it on a high note in case it goes wrong. That'll be fine. But no, anyway, thanks for watching. As usual, feel free to like, comment, etc. And I'll see you all again real soon. Cheers.